Good evening, Capricorn. Welcome to Pure Tarot. I'm doing your June reading tonight. I'm gonna jump right into it. No intro. En français, in French we say préambule. There's no preface. That's for a book, but anyway. Forest of the Fae. Messages. First card. Came right out. Let's read. You have the Timble Witch. There is magic in beginnings, so start something new. She's quite pretty. She's very beautiful. All right, I'm gonna draw out of my French makeshift deck. These are a few cards just to kind of get our bearings here. And then we'll pull some tarot and integrate everything. There it is. It says milieu. Milieu means middle. So the middle ground. Maybe you're the middle person. Like the intermediaire. In how do you say that? I know the word, I just can't pronounce it. Intermediary. Sorry. So like a in-between person, you know, like you go through someone either to relay a message or simply maybe you're the peacemaker between two people. It could mean many things, right? Let's get some tarot. It's interesting. At this point, I'm not able to tie in starting something new with being the middle person. So first card out is Judgment. Flew out. I'm going to see if other ones want to come out by themselves. If not, I'm just going to pull. Second card out. King of Swords in reverse. It's really interesting, you know, the first card out was speaking about something new, but when you pull Judgment, usually it's a second go around. So it's almost like being pulled in two directions here, wanting to start something new and maybe repeating something. Maybe that's why you feel caught in the middle. It's just one way of looking at things. Two more fell out. We have the King of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. So it's interesting, Judgment, and then these three court cards, two kings, King of Swords in reverse, King of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. There's lots of people in your energy, or simply around you, I should say. So I'm going to draw some more because at this point, it's interesting because there's three court cards and we're talking about the middle, right? So obviously there is the possibility of a triangle. Doesn't have to be a love triangle, but it is obviously So in this case, on the table, the King of Cups is the one in the middle, and he's the only one upright, which absolutely corroborates the story of you being maybe the middle person, the one who's the peacemaker, or the one that is the most stable, especially emotionally, right? Very mature. And the two people alongside you, maybe they are at odds, maybe, or they're simply not in their element, quote unquote, being reversed. So that King of Swords would be someone at this point, I'm hearing he's not making sense. But it's not that he's not making sense at all, right? I mean, he's actually very good with words, even when he's in reverse. So it's not so much that he's being illogical or unable to make a sentence. Maybe in his own eyes, in his own mind, he's feeling like things are not making sense, maybe more in that sense. He's feeling like there's something he's not comprehending, and being an air element, he really needs to understand things from a mental, intellectual point of view, right? Whereas the Knight of Pentacles here, being in reverse, his challenge, or his, let's say, his buzz right now I'm hearing he's being more stubborn than usual. He's not wanting to go along. He's not following, right? So if there was a direction, I'm using these words, apply them as you as it resonates for you, but there's something that he's not going along with. Maybe there's a situationship here. Doesn't have to be relationship, romantic. So someone's not wanting to kind of comply or follow the music, or it's really interesting, because as much as I'm saying that, the Judgment being there, either it's pointing to something karmic in the sense that there's something greater playing out between these three characters. That could be. Or there's sort of a pattern here that maybe this Knight of Pentacles is choosing not to go along with. He's just not on board. And the King of Swords is just not on board either, but for different reasons. He's more... he doesn't get the point. Like, he needs to understand, like, what is this, let's say, maybe even bringing me, and we're not talking financially, but he's looking for the reasons why he'd want to implicate himself. Whereas the King of Cups either is fully on board, feels very comfortable in the situation, but I feel that he's more, because he's right in the middle here. And we do have this card, right? So he's playing a special role. Let's see if the cards want to tell us more. So in this case, I don't know which character you might identify with. I'm suspecting you're one of the three. And I'm tempted to say you'd be the King of Cups. Definitely, it is your reading. Okay, Nine of Wands in reverse. I'm going to stop there for the tarot for now. Actually, I'm going to need to pull more because I want to have a better idea of what the situationship is. Right now, it's only telling me that everybody feels drained and exhausted and fed up. And we were already establishing that 2 out of 3 characters felt that way. They weren't on board. So let's keep pulling. This judgment obviously could be a calling. So like an announcement, right? A big announcement. I'm going to pull, I think. Okay, I'm just going to show you. There's one card that moved out. It didn't fly out, but I'm going to pull this one. And we have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. So 9 of Wands and 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Again, the same energy, not wanting to, so dropping the situation, not wanting to follow the music. The other thing is because it's the 2 of Pentacles, right? And it would have been, if it would have been upright, it's having to choose between 2, but without really necessarily yet making the choice. There's the idea of, usually it's juggling, but it's also weighing, right? It's almost like, okay, it's an energy of doing the list of pros and cons on a situation. And when it's in reverse, usually it's deciding to drop what you have in your hands. Or it could be much more positively simply implying that you've stopped being indecisive and you've stopped weighing your options and you're probably able to make a decision. But it's also interesting because, you know, this character is holding 2, right? So it's again the number. Remotely, it implies 3. I'm going to pull some more. I want to get curious. So let's ask the question out loud. Maybe it'll help. If there's a decision, what is the decision? And one card flipped. There's a little mini booklet that didn't turn, but I'm only going to take the card that turned. And we have the 3 of Wands in reverse. We're not escaping the threes. The idea of three. And being in reverse, it's almost like turning your back, right? Refusing to look at something, refusing to allow a situation to unfold, maybe. I mean, these are three cards of not being on board, so to speak. I'm gonna go further. I'm gonna put the Nine of Wands. I'm gonna attribute the Nine of Wands in reverse to the King of Swords, the Two of Pentacles in reverse to the King of Cups, and the Three of Wands in reverse to the Knight of Pentacles. You see, still the most balanced energy is the middle ground, the middle person. You in this case, you know, you're not undecided. You have taken the time to weigh your pros and cons, and you feel comfortable in your own skin about whatever decision or however this situation is. You're like a little fish in the water, right? You're very comfortable. You're in your element. Whereas the Two of the Kings, so the King of Swords here, which I'm coupling with the Nine of Wands. Yeah, so he feels drained. He could be, obviously, if it was upright, he'd be very exhausted, even physically. I think this is more of a, he's more just drained, more mentally, because he's the King of Swords. There's also, he's annoyed. He's annoyed. And here is that Knight of Pentacles coupled now with the Three of Wands in reverse. So just to show you, look at the cards. They're both looking like this Knight is looking over here, and this Three of Wands is also looking over there. And when I place them on the table, all the cards are on this side, but these two guys are looking this way. So that character, this particular character, is really like turning their back. They're really looking in the other direction. They're absolutely not wanting to get involved. They're almost like, how do you say, pouting? You know, brooding, pouting, or something like that. Strange read. All of this because of this major, I mean, this is the only major arcana, but it was the first card out. There's something definitely major that has happened. So it's something that's, I don't know, you know, the idea of resurrection, right? The fact that it's happening again, it could be this situation playing out again, maybe slightly different, but overall, almost like a pattern in either in behavior or simply I'm not sensing that it was necessarily unfinished. I'm sensing more that it's more of the same. That kind of energy, more of the same. Because this this usual, like, because the dead are like they're resurrecting, right? So they're being resurrected. So yeah, maybe a situation you thought was finished and over with is sort of resurfacing. It's more than that. I'm gonna pull on the Judgment. It kind of wanted to turn and it didn't, like it and I didn't see it, so I'm not gonna, I didn't pull it. I didn't get to see the card. I still feel there was like an announcement with on the Judgment card. Something that couldn't be avoided. That's the karmic, the karma aspect of it. Karmic aspect. Something that you couldn't have avoided. Like that couldn't have. It was gonna happen, right? No matter what. That's what I mean. Okay, this card. Strength in reverse. I'm sensing a lack of courage, a lack of facing the music, facing the situation. Strength in reverse. Also feels like a weakening, the weakening of the situation, right? I think that the repeat is showing the weakness in the situation. And I'm really not applying this to the characters here. I think the three characters are sort of being impacted and they are reacting or behaving, or they have a different response, a very unique response, all three of them. And I think it's the fact that the situation is repeating, that it never got, I don't know, I want to say solved, or maybe that's what's annoying the King of Swords, something that, you know, he has to go through for a second time. He's not in the mood. The Knight of Pentacles is almost fleeing by you know, turning himself like it's funny because it's like mostly a face here on this card and mostly a body here, so he's definitely turning both face and body fully away from the situation, refusing to see, maybe refusing to look closely. Whereas you, again, the King of Cups, you're sort of navigating this quite smoothly. What an interesting read. I'm going to pull a love oracle. Not that this happens to be a love reading, but I just, before I do that though, I'm going to go back to the first card about there's magic in beginnings, so start something new. You know what I'm tempted to say here? I think that this is why you're the King of Cups, and I think this is why you feel comfortable in the situation and why you were able to actually weigh the situation and come to a, I guess, a positive conclusion. I think it's because you're the only one out of the three here who has enough insight maybe to see the new in the situation, even if it's like something that is like a pattern that is repeating. You're still able to see that even if it looks the same, you know it's going to be different, and maybe you're going to approach it differently and maybe inject newness in it, right? And really sort of you might be able to bring in new energy, enthusiasm, enough positivity, right? And I think you have enough insight to see that you'd be able to create anew, right? Versus feeling caught in a pattern and a repeat situation. I think this is why you're smiling here, because you do have it's a subtle smile, but it's a, you know, the corner of your lips are up. That's good. It's good to see. Okay, this card. It says, seeking pleasure. So let's read. Indulge and savor. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, without necessarily indulging, or without applying maybe the negative connotation of indulgence. To indulge is to actually, I'm sorry for the neighbors, I have the door opened. They're on the balcony. Anyway. Yeah, so you're savoring the situation, and you're able to see the good in it, right? Hence why you, quote unquote, are indulging. Anyway, let me just show you, if ever you want to read it by yourself. It was this page. It's this page here. Okay. The love story. It was a torrid love affair between him and her, and her. Because I want to show you, again, there's three people. There's a him, there's a her, and there's a him/her. So maybe transgender, non-binary person, androgynous person. Maybe just simply bisexual. So just the three of them, and it was time to explore. Need we say more? Ah, the beauty and ecstasy they found by allowing their passions to abound and explode in a current of euphoria. Pleasure is the principle, and on that fateful night, love was found in some queer places indeed. I'm not making this up. Look, it's this text here. I hope it's clear, like on the camera. Anyway, the action. Do something for yourself today. Try to break away from that part of your conscious mind that says no, or that places judgment on what otherwise would come naturally to you. Go deeper into your pursuit of pleasure. You deserve to be happy. Now show it. The meditation. Embrace pleasure as an expression of the beauty of the body. Allow love to hold and guide you to ever higher levels of bliss and excitement. The affirmation. I accept and indulge in pleasure. I am loved. So, I mean, it does emphasize another triangle, right? I wouldn't necessarily want to attribute, you know, which king and which one. So which one is the King of Swords, which one is the King of Cups, and which one is the Knight of Pentacles in this equation. You could do that if ever that resonates. I didn't necessarily apply this to a love romantic situation from the get-go. This card gives it a spin, not on the full story, but it brings you, if you are looking at the context of a love triangle, then it's there. So that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, share, subscribe, please, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.